Saturday, January 21st, 2017. Just want to do a quick ram pump update. I adjusted this line. The T used to be over there. I adjusted the T to over here so it'd be a little closer to the greenhouse. We had a cold spell after I got the ram pump back up on like 114 or 115, and it froze back up on me. I had the smaller impetus valve in. I had the 1-inch impetus valve in at the time. I've since upgraded to the 1.25 inch. We now have enough flow to support that, and making some reworks here to try and prevent freezing over the winter. 800 foot of line in super cold weather is a long run to make, and to keep it from freezing. But we've got a warm spell right now, and so I'm going to try and set it up so that that won't happen. I actually intend to put about a 15-gallon reservoir up in the peak of the greenhouse here as a secondary reservoir, in addition to the one that's in the barn, because that one will freeze, I think, during really cold weather. And this one will actually be inside the greenhouse where it's relatively warm, and hopefully reheat the water a little bit before it travels out. And I've also set up a bypass valve inside the greenhouse. I'll show you that in a sec. This is the overflow coming from the bypass. I know it's not a lot of water, but I'm also keeping the barn reservoir barrel full. I'll show you that quick. So you can see the overflow of that. So you can see we're actually moving quite a bit of water between the two. Anyway, my plan is to set it up so that in the event that this line freezes, since this line will have more access to cold water or cold air, if this line freezes, it'll still push the water through the bypass valve in the greenhouse and continue to flow up the hill. I'm hoping that that'll work out. Real quickly, I'll show you the bypass valve I put in inside just so you can understand the concept there, and then I'll take you down and we'll have a look at the ram pump running in the wintertime. So here we are inside the greenhouse, and things are starting to come back slowly. I had a whitefly infestation here, and I haven't been able to afford to get the balanced nutrient to keep things balanced plant-wise, so things are looking a little rough in here. But it's alright, we're going to clean up and get ready for spring fairly soon. And I've been working on the technical aspect of things at the moment. So the line here you see, this black line going that way, just goes over to the valve over there, hooks to the hose. This is so much easier to refill these reservoirs and thermal masses without having to haul 5-gallon buckets out here. Because at wintertime I usually have to haul 5-gallon buckets. But maybe this year with a ram pump we won't need to. Anyway, the other side of that line where you saw going into the greenhouse comes in here to the T, comes up to this, what I call a bypass valve. Basically I can valve how much water we allow through here so we can always maintain flow and hopefully prevent freezing, because flowing water doesn't freeze as easily as stagnant water does because there's kinetic energy there. So this is set up with that little trickle you saw coming out the yellow hose over the chicken pen there, and I just kind of throttled that so that we would get a little bit of flow through, and the majority of the water will still go up to the big barrel in the barn for now. Given our warm weather currently, I can do that. If it starts to get colder, I probably will open this valve up all the way and let all of our flow come through here. At some point in the future, I may put temperature sensors, solenoids, and a relay running off of the Raspberry Pi, so that when temperatures outside go below a certain level, it trips a valve open and makes the bypass flow come all through here, so that we don't get a freeze. That's kind of a future expansion concept. For now, just kind of messing around with testing it. Also, you notice I put a Raspberry Pi thermosensor on here so I can monitor what the water temperature is flowing through that line. It's currently reading about 53 degrees. Let's see, we'll just go right over here. Water temperature is, yeah, 53.71. And the DWT here is actually the water difference between freezing and actual water temperature. So 53.71 minus 32 is 21.71. So that tells me that if the water temperature starts to come in showing a DWT of 0, then the water temperature is going down to 32 and I have to be concerned about freezing. So that's all that is for now. We'll go down and take a look at the ram pump now that it's running again, and then we'll go from there. So here we are down at the spring pond, and this was actually frozen before we had the good rains that we've had in the past couple weeks, and I attribute that to the fact that the spring wasn't flowing at all yet, really. You know, the pond was still full, but the spring hadn't been flowing. But now we're getting good flow, and the pond is thawing right back out, and I'll take you in. We'll have a look at the ram pump quick. Nice little far away shot. So, the ram pump is running with the 1.25 inch impetus valve in, delivering good water, and you'll notice that the pond is still overflowing. Pretty good amount of water. I haven't measured the actual flow. My guess would be that's close to 3 or 4 gallons a minute. Might be as much as 5. Also, you'll notice, I wish I had gotten down here before the camera, because this whole area here around the discharge pipe and that pipe was frozen, and the water inside that pipe was, inside the delivery pipe, was frozen as well back when we had a cold snap. So the output here, I had the pipe where the union is right there disconnected, and the output was still flowing, but everything else had frozen up. So what I did was connect this pipe back up like that, and you can see I left that connector leaking a little bit. That way flow would continue to come through it. And when it warmed up and we had the rain, this thawed and started flowing again. And that's when I hooked the new impetus valve in place and got things running again. We'll go down and have a quick look at the ram pump itself now. So here we are at ye old ram pump. And she's whacking away like she's supposed to be. Have to say, when I came back down here and hooked this back up a couple days ago, it felt really good to see it just take right off again and start pumping. It was almost like we never had an issue. I had shut the valve from when it was frozen a while back. I had shut the pressure indicator valve, and you'll notice it's still bouncing, sitting around 70. I'll flip that open now, and you'll see it'll drop to about 31 psi. I would expect. Okay, I've opened the valve to the gauge, and you can see it's sitting right around 31 psi, because that's the elevation it's climbing to the top of the hill there. Anyway, I just want to show you that it is running, and I'm going to try and keep it running through the cold weather. Hopefully I'll be successful at that. I should point out that back during that cold snap when everything froze, that yellow handle valve there, I had to replace that because it actually split in the freeze because the water stopped flowing and it split. And when I first fired the pump back up, it was squirting 2 streams out either side of the actual valve body. It's kind of interesting to see. Anyway, we're running, we're pumping water, and we're going to try and keep it pumping through the rest of the winter. Hopefully we'll be successful. Stay tuned at the Farmacy Network to find out how we make out.